Revealed, how a billionaire transformed a single mom's heartbreak into an amazing birthday miracle. Jennifer sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the bills that cluttered her wardrobe like angry little monsters. Each one barked out a relentless reminder of her struggles. The refrigerator hummed ominously, echoing its emptiness as she counted down the days to her daughter Emily's 10th birthday. Emily was such a bright light in Jennifer's life, her smile capable of cutting through the darkest moments since the loss of her husband, a soldier who once brought both pride and stability into their lives. She longed to give her little girl a birthday party bursting with laughter and love, but with barely enough money for groceries, dreams of balloons and cake felt like cruel jokes. Each year, Jennifer awoke with renewed desperation, trying to remember what life used to feel like when their home was filled with joy and her husband's laugh. Thus, she envisioned a birthday party where the backyard could transform into a wonderland for Emily, surrounded by her friends, where they could frolic and feel the joy she desperately wanted to gift her. Yet the stark contrast between those sparkling dreams and her reality made her heart ache, sending her spiraling into emotional exhaustion. But in this tightly knit suburban community, people were watching. They whispered softly behind closed doors, the reality of Jennifer's life clashing with their own perfect facades. An event was organized at the community center, a fundraiser meant to lend a hand to those in need. That's where Jason Hart walked in, the once ever-present boy next door, now a billionaire who had traded home-cooked dinners for luxury and loneliness. With sharp suits and an air of detachment, his presence felt like a ghost among vibrant lives. When Jason overheard a neighbor mention Emily's impending birthday and her mother's struggles, something shifted inside him. He was suddenly on fire with empathy, a deep urge to revive the boy he once was, guided by the laughter of children and the comfort of shared camaraderie. Buzzing with ideas, Jason thought about putting together a birthday surprise for Emily that would leave her breathless. Yet beneath that spark was a well of fear. Could he really confront the community that had bypassed him, seeing only his wealth? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As plans began to swirl around in Jason's mind, misgivings crept in. Accidental misunderstandings led to humiliation for Jennifer, thrusting her deeper into a corner where she felt ashamed to accept help. Emotions flared, whispers of economic inequality dancing through the community like a wildfire. It became evident that the divide between Jason's wealth and Jennifer's struggle was thick, tampering with perceptions and leading to senseless judgments. But Jason was not deterred. Anger slowly turned into resolve as he ventured to engage the community on bigger issues, those that challenged their biases regarding wealth and worth. As he carved out the path for genuine conversation, the tension in the air crackled, catalyzing changes that seemed unimaginable only days before. As the day of Emily's party approached, excitement loomed in the shadows mingled with uncertainty. Would this surprise be enough to heal Jennifer's heart? Could the distance between their worlds ever shrink? At this moment, anticipation built, the community stood on the brink of bonding over love and resilience, but the question remained, would they accept the transformation that was unfolding before them? The morning light peeked through the curtains, casting glowing patterns across Jennifer's room. She blinked, taking in the reality of it being Emily's birthday. Hope swirled in her chest, yet worry tugged at her heart. She threw the blankets aside and padded to the kitchen, pulling a worn mug from the cabinet. As the coffee brewed, she recalled their last birthday together as a family. A wave of sadness washed over her. The laughter and love had been replaced with silence and reminders of a world once filled with joy. Just then, Emily bounded down the stairs, her hair bouncing with each step, a whirlwind of excitement. Her enthusiasm was electric. "Mom! It's finally here!" She squealed, her eyes sparkling with dreams of presents and cake. Jennifer's heart swelled, pushing the painful memories aside to embrace the moment, but the weight of financial struggle loomed heavily. Today, like every day, would have to be enough. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Let us do something special today, Jennifer said, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. Emily beamed. Can we go to the park? And maybe see if there are any balloons there? Of course. Balloons and games, Jennifer responded, her mind racing, trying to conjure ideas for the birthday celebration. Meanwhile, across town, Jason sat in his glossy office, his laptop reflecting the numbers that had quantified his success. A soft knock on the door broke his concentration. His assistant peeked in, hesitating before entering. Mr. Hart, the community meeting is set to start in half an hour. Are you prepared? Actually, I think I need to do something else first, he replied, thoughts of Emily's upcoming birthday flooding his mind. He stood, a newfound determination swelling within him. He wasn't just going to show up, he would bring joy, even if it meant stepping into uncharted waters. Back at Jennifer's house, the clock ticked persistently toward noon. Jennifer prepared the simplest of treats, old recipes of chocolate chip cookies that had once been a favorite of her husband. The aroma filled the kitchen, mingling with memories of laughter and love. She wanted so desperately to recreate a sense of normalcy for Emily. As she placed cooling cookies on the counter, uncertainty crept back in. Would they even have friends to join them? Just as the last cookie landed on the plate, the phone rang. She picked it up, her heart leaping as she recognized the voice on the other end. Jennifer, this is Jason Hart, he said, confident yet somehow vulnerable. Mr. Hart? I know it's a surprise call, but I wanted to talk about something important. Her breath hitched. About what? About Emily's birthday party. I'd like to help. Silence settled in the air. Jennifer felt herself torn between gratitude and disbelief. Help? I want to make this a birthday she will never forget, he said, as if every word was a step toward bridging their worlds. Yet fear bubbled under her skin. Could she really trust this man? Why would you want to do that for us? She fought hard to keep her voice steady. I remember being that kid, looking up to the adults as they made life feel full. It's time for me to give back. And just like that, hope sparked and flickered inside her again. But how could she accept help from someone like him? It was a crossroads: vulnerability or pride. As her thoughts spiraled, she realized she had a choice to make. Would she reach out for help meant to pull them from shadows into light? Dark clouds gathered at the edges of her heart, but the sun still shone brightly. Jason's offer lingered like a spark, igniting questions about their destinies crossing. Would a simple birthday celebration be enough to bridge their backgrounds? Or would fear reign, keeping them both stuck in their corners? The stakes had never been clearer, leaving Jennifer wondering what would she choose. The moment hung in the air, charged with unspoken emotions. Jennifer tightened her grip on the phone. Jason's voice had an earnestness that tugged at something deep inside her. Could she really let him in? Okay, she started, hesitating. What do you have in mind? Let us turn this birthday into a small celebration, he suggested. Some balloons, treats, maybe even a few games at the park. What about all the kids? Jennifer asked, her heart racing. We don't really know anyone to invite. I can help with that too. I know a few parents from the community, maybe they can bring their kids along. It'll be something special for Emily, he said. The flutter in her chest was hard to ignore. Emily's laughter danced in the back of her mind, vibrant and hopeful. Could Jason actually pull this off? And what's in it for you? She shot back, the protective mother instinct flaring. Why do you want to do this? Because I've been where you are, he said, his voice softer now. I came from nothing, and birthdays were a big deal for us. They meant everything, a little hope, a little joy. I just want to give back. Jennifer's breath caught in her throat. Could a man who seemed so far removed from their struggles understand the weight she carried? Okay, she said at last, decision solidifying in her heart. Let us do it. But this is for Emily. Not for you. Great. I'll take care of the arrangements, he said, his voice brightening instantly. I'll call you back shortly with the details. As she hung up, uncertainty mingled with excitement. Would accepting his help mean accepting more of him? And what would that mean for her and Emily? Across town, Jason felt a weight lift. He had crossed into uncharted territory, but there was no turning back now. He called local bakeries, ordering cupcakes that would melt in little mouths, and balloons that would float high above the crowd. He reached out to parents at the community center, inviting them to a celebration that promised to brighten Emily's day. Hours later, Jennifer stood in her modest living room, glancing at her worn couch and the scattered toys underfoot. She was still unsure about Jason, but the thought of Emily surrounded by laughter made her heart swell. Mom, can we go to the park now? Emily's voice was full of blissful anticipation. Not just yet, sweetie. We have a surprise coming, Jennifer replied, summoning her own excitement. Emily's eyes sparkled like stars, and suddenly, Jennifer felt lighter. The last grains of reluctance began to slip away. As they walked to the park, hand in hand, the sun filtered through the trees, warming their skin like a gentle embrace. What would the day hold for them? Would it be a joyful gathering that would sweep the shadows away? Arriving at the park, Jennifer paused, a wave of nervous energy coursing through her. She could see the open field, where children laughed and played under the bright afternoon sky, yet this felt different. As she spotted a cluster of colorful balloons bobbing against the breeze, her heart skipped a beat. Mom! Look! Emily cried out, racing toward the scene. But then, as Jennifer took a step forward, her stomach dropped. What if things didn't go as planned? What if this unexpected gift from Jason turned out to create more complications? Just then, a familiar laughter echoed through the air. Jason approached, a wide smile on his face, surrounded by smiling parents and beaming children. Surprise! He called out, joy radiating from him like the sunlight overhead. In that moment, all of Jennifer's worries hung in the balance. Would this day, this celebration, mark a shift in their lives? Or would it bring more questions than answers? She took a deep breath, and as Emily ran towards Jason, she felt something new settle in her heart and she was helpless against it. Was it the start of something beautiful, or a fleeting moment of joy that would soon fade? One thing was certain, this birthday was bound to change everything. What would happen next? The scene was alive with laughter and chatter as children dashed across the green field, their joy infectious. Balloons danced in the breeze, each one a splash of color against the bright blue sky. Jennifer stood frozen for a moment, taking it all in the sight of Emily's delighted face, Jason's easy smile as he engaged with other parents, and the vibrant energy swirling around her. It felt surreal. Emily, bouncing with excitement, ran back to her. Look at all the balloons, Mom. They're so pretty. Can I have the pink one? Her eyes sparkled with pure joy, and for a fleeting moment, all of Jennifer's worries vanished. Of course, sweetheart, she responded, her voice steadier than she felt. As Emily bounded off, tethered to her glee, Jennifer found herself drawn into the welcoming atmosphere. Parents who had once been strangers were now there, eager to connect and share their stories. She smiled at one of them, a woman with a warm smile and a little boy who was busy inflating a balloon. Hi. I'm Lisa, the woman introduced herself, extending a hand. Jason told us all about the party he was organizing. It's wonderful seeing so many at the park today. Jennifer, she replied, shaking hands. Thank you for coming. As the introductions continued, the sense of community seeped into her bones. Maybe this wasn't just about Emily's birthday. Maybe it was about Jennifer stepping out of her comfort zone, letting herself be seen. Jason approached, holding a cupcake decorated with pink frosting. "Hey, Emily," he called, holding it out. "I think this one is perfect for you." Emily beamed, rushing over. "Thank you, Jason." She took the cupcake, her fingers sticky with frosting. Jennifer watched them interact, and the tenderness of the moment struck her. Was this man really as selfless as he seemed? The way he looked at Emily like she was the most special person in the world made her heart flutter. "Mind if I take a picture?" someone asked, pulling her back to reality. "Sure," Jennifer replied, raising her phone. She snapped shots of Emily's laughter, Jason's radiant smile, and the enchantingly chaotic scene behind them. Each click captured something precious. Maybe today really could be magical. As the afternoon wore on, children ran from game to game, glee and competition echoing in the air. Jason had organized everything so meticulously, ensuring every detail was perfect. Cupcakes had vanished, games drawn laughter like moths to a flame, and the day felt like a beautiful tapestry woven from vibrant threads of kindness and light. But amidst the joy, Jennifer's heart felt heavy, insisting on acknowledging the fear at the edges of her happiness. Could she allow this to happen? Could she let someone else in without fear of being hurt again? "Hey, you alright?" Jason appeared beside her, breaking her thoughts. "Yeah, just taking it all in," she said, wishing she could feel more certain. "Emily's sparkling today," he remarked, glancing at the little girl mid-giggle as she chased some friends. "You're doing an amazing job as her mom." "Thank you," she said, warmth spreading through her. "But I can't help but wonder what happens after today. What does this mean for us?" Before he could answer, Emily came running back, her face flushed, excitement beaming. "Mom! We're going to play tag. Come on." "Okay, let us go," she replied, letting Emily pull her toward the throng of kids. Jason fell into step beside them. As they joined the game, laughter rang out. Jennifer felt the shadows of her past begin to lift, though they still lurked quietly at the corners of her mind, waiting to be acknowledged. But for now, something glimmered within her, a spark ignited by joy, laughter, and perhaps something deeper that she hadn't been ready to name yet. In that moment of bliss, could she forgive herself for hoping again? Could she imagine a life colored by connection and laughter, unmarred by loneliness? As the game intensified and laughter spilled all around them, Jennifer's heart raced with questions buzzing in her mind. Was it truly possible to allow a new kind of happiness to blossom? The sun sank lower in the sky, casting a golden glow over the park and the sweet chaos unfolding within it. Deep down, Jennifer sensed a change was coming, but what did that mean? One thing was certain, they were on the brink of a discovery that could reshape everything she believed about love and happiness. What would she choose to do next, when the time came to confront her fears? Lunch had now turned into a festival of giggles and the tantalizing scent of grilled hot dogs wafting through the air. Jason had taken charge of the grill, his laughter echoing among the group as more parents gathered around, plates in hand, ready to feast. Jennifer watched him with a mix of admiration and confusion. He was so at ease, so natural, as if he was born to foster this kind of joy. "Mom! Look!" Emily zipped past her, catching another balloon, the pink one bouncing happily in the breeze. Jennifer's heart fluttered at the sight of her daughter, a small whirlwind of excitement, innocence, and hope. It was a slash of gold and pink against the deeper hues of her mind. But each burst of happiness was tethered to a nagging worry that refused to budge. "Isn't this the best day ever?" Emily shouted while hopping from one foot to another, her cheeks flushed with glee. "It really is, sweetie," Jennifer replied, her voice containing all the joy she could muster, as her insides churned. What was stopping her from fully embracing this moment? "Hey," Jason said, sidling up next to her. He wiped his hands on a towel, the sweet smell of barbecue lingering in the air. "You okay?" She turned to him, and for a heartbeat, she got lost in his gaze. It's just seeing Emily so happy, I want to give her everything and at the same time, I'm worried. Worried about what? He asked, tilting his head slightly, a mix of concern and curiosity on his face. Jennifer took a deep breath. I've been hurt before, Jason. I want to protect her, and myself. I don't want to take a step back into old fears. He nodded, understanding dawning in his eyes. It's totally natural to feel that way. But sometimes, when you let go of the fear, you open up to something beautiful. His words hung between them, whispering promises of something more. The sun dipped lower, casting an amber glow that lit up Jason's features, making him appear even more genuine. But just as she felt a flicker of hope, the familiar walls of doubt rushed in. Can we really do this? I mean, this whatever it is between us could be so complicated, she said, her voice edged with uncertainty. Complicated? He echoed, amusement dancing in his eyes. Life itself is complicated. But today is simple, and it's beautiful. So let us just enjoy it. His smile was infectious, breaking through the smoke of her anxieties. She found herself smiling back, even if it felt like a leap into uncharted territory. Out of nowhere, a burst of laughter erupted nearby as Emily and her friends staged a mini balloon battle, filled with shouts and giggles. The joyous chaos momentarily clouded Jennifer's thoughts. Life had its way of keeping her on her toes, and today felt like a breath of fresh air. Hey, you two! Lisa called out, her voice bright. How about a little contest? A race to the fountain? Winner gets an extra cupcake. Emily's eyes widened. Can we, Mom? Please. Jennifer chuckled, feeling warmth spread through her as her apprehension tilted toward delight. Okay, but remember to stay safe. Just like that, a group of kids rallied, charging toward the fountain as if it were the finish line of a marathon. Laughter filled the air once more, the sound of pure childhood joy. Jennifer felt the heat of Jason's presence beside her, and she turned to see him watching the children, an easy smile anchored on his lips. Today is not just about Emily, is it? It's about us too, he said, and his words were both a discovery and a dare. Her heart raced. Could she genuinely embrace this day, this connection? Could she battle through her fears? As they took a few steps toward the excited chaos, a question loomed within her: what if love wasn't as terrifying as her past made it seem? With Emily lost in the frenzy of innocent fun, Jennifer felt herself drawn to Jason like they were matching pieces of a puzzle that had been jumbled for far too long. The thrill of possibility danced in the air as she took a tiny step closer. But just then, a voice rang out, one that sliced through the joy like a knife. Jennifer. A familiar tone called. Her heart dropped as she turned, a cold shiver racing through her as the past loomed over her like a storm cloud. Is it really you? What was he doing here? The familiar figure stood awkwardly, just outside the bubble of happiness she had almost embraced. How would she navigate this moment? Would it shatter everything just as it began to blossom? As tension swirled in the air, Jennifer held her breath. Would she confront her past or lean into the joy surrounding her? The clock was ticking, and the answers felt closer than they had in a long time, but would she be ready to face them? Jennifer's heart pounded like a drum in her chest as she faced the figure from her past. It was David, the last person she expected to see at a children's birthday party. The carefree laughter around her felt like it was fading, replaced by the weight of memories she had tried to bury. Jennifer, he said again, his voice softening. I didn't think I'd see you here. Why are you here? She managed, her tone sharp, but underlined with confusion. Did he really think he could just stroll back into her life after everything? David's face shifted, revealing the regret she had always sensed from him. I heard the party was happening, and I wanted to see Emily. I've missed so much. Can we just talk? Talk? The word felt like a trap. Could anything good come from this? She stole a glance at Jason, who was still beside her, but the warmth of his presence suddenly felt distant. Talk? What do we have to talk about? She shot back, trying to keep her voice steady. Emily was a few yards away, lost in her world of balloons and laughter, blissfully unaware of the tension swirling around her mother. Everything, David replied, his gaze earnest. I messed up. I know that. I've changed, Jen. I'm trying to be better. She interrupted, incredulous. You left. You chose yourself over us. The sound of the joy around them faded as if the universe had taken a deep breath, holding it in as they stood in the eye of the storm. Mom? Emily called, her cherubic face turning toward them. Who is that? Jennifer felt her heart twist. He is someone from a long time ago, sweetie. Did he bring cupcakes? Emily asked with all the innocence in the world, completely oblivious to the tension. David knelt down, extending a hand towards her. I brought some. Want to come try them? I even made sure they're your favorite chocolate with sprinkles. For a moment, she saw the glimmer of excitement in Emily's eyes. It was the same glimmer that had once filled their home with warmth. No, Jennifer said sharply, almost instinctively. She couldn't let this man back into their lives, not when they were finally finding their footing. David's expression faltered, his disappointment painfully visible. Jen, please. Just give me a chance to make things right. For Emily. Jennifer felt a war raging inside her. Emily deserved to know her father, but she also deserved to be protected from the chaos he brought. Emily, why don't you go back to your friends for a minute? She said, forcing a gentle smile. Can I, Mom? Emily looked between them, her smile fading slightly. Yes, honey. Just for a second, okay? As Emily bounded back toward her friends, the weight of the decision loomed large. I can't do this right now, David. Not here, not like this. He stepped closer, urgency in his eyes. I've worked on myself, I'm in a better place. I can be the dad she deserves. Really? Her breath felt shallow. Where were you when she needed you? When I needed you? Please. I get it, and I know I was wrong. All I'm asking for is a shot at redemption, he pleaded. She turned slightly, willing the tears to stay at bay. Maybe once upon a time, she would have believed him. But now, the stakes felt so much higher. Just then, Jason stepped forward, breaking the spell. Jennifer, you don't have to do this. I'm here for you. At those words, a strange warmth spread through her. Could she trust him? Could he help her navigate this storm? Why are you really here, David? She asked, her voice steadier. Is this about you, or is it about Emily? As silence fell around them, the choices loomed. She felt her heart crack open, both terrified and exhilarated. If David was willing to try, what did that mean for her and Jason? But just as the possibility of resolution seemed within reach, the tension shifted again. A parent from the gathering approached them, whispering something urgently into Jason's ear. His face instantly turned somber. Sorry, I need to take this, he said, glancing between them one last time before stepping away. Jennifer's breath caught. The moment felt like a fragile bubble about to burst. The chaos of emotions stored inside her fought for supremacy, rattling her resolve. Would standing her ground mean losing everything she had come to cherish? As she faced David once more, uncertainty bathed in the glow of fleeting courage loomed over her. The path ahead was murky, but one question rose above all: what was she willing to sacrifice for the sake of love and protection in the life she was building anew? And just then, the world around them seemed to pause, waiting for her answer. The moment hung in the air, thick with unresolved tension. Jennifer could feel her pulse racing, a mix of fear and trepidation as she stared at David, the man who had shattered her family and now, perhaps, wanted to rebuild. Jennifer, please, David urged again, his eyes searching hers. I want to be part of her life. I'm ready to do whatever it takes. She searched for any remnants of the love they once shared, the happy memories they built together before everything fell apart. But all she found was the bitter sting of betrayal. Do you even understand what you've done? She said, anger boiling just beneath the surface. This isn't just about you walking back in and pretending everything is fine. David stepped back, his shoulders sagging under the weight of her words. I know, he said quietly, I've hurt you, and I can't change the past. I can, however, change the future for Emily. Jennifer felt her heart clench at the mention of their daughter. Emily had always been the center of her universe, the light that guided her through the darkest days. Could she deny her the chance to know her father, to see if he truly had changed? But was that worth the risk? What if you hurt her again? She asked, her voice trembling. What if this just leads to more chaos? I won't, David pleaded. I promise you, I've spent every day trying to be a better man. I've gone to therapy, I've worked on myself. Just let me prove it. His desperation resonated, igniting a glimmer of doubt in her heart. She glanced toward the group of children, giggling and playing, completely unconcerned with the storm brewing just a few feet away. It's not just about you wanting to be a father, David. Emily has a life now, a stable life. What if you disrupt that? Jennifer felt the lump growing in her throat, battling against the tears. I have to protect her, first and foremost. He took a deep breath, visibly struggling to maintain his composure. I know I'm asking a lot, but... His voice softened, turning almost pleading. I want her to know I'm here and that I love her. Can't she decide for herself what she wants? Isn't that what being a parent is about, allowing your child to have a choice? At that moment, Jason returned, his face a mask of concern. Is everything all right? He asked, noting the charged atmosphere between them. Jennifer felt a flood of warmth toward him, a stark contrast to the turmoil David created. Jason, she faltered, momentarily caught off guard. His presence was a comforting weight, a reminder of how safe she felt in his company. David's eyes narrowed, picking up on the shift. Who is he? Someone who's been there for us, Jennifer replied, her voice steadier than before. Jason stepped closer, taking her hand gently in his. You don't have to do anything you're not ready for, Jennifer. This is your call. Feeling fortified by Jason's support, she turned to David once again. You had your chance to be a father to Emily. You made your choices, and they hurt us both. Now, you want to waltz back in with promises. Why should I believe you? Because sometimes people can change, David said, desperation creeping into his tone. Because she deserves a chance to know who I am now beyond the mistakes. Silence stretched between them again. It felt like the ground beneath her was carved from glass, threatening to shatter if she stepped too far. Suddenly, Emily's laughter rang out, breaking through the heavy air. Jennifer's heart ached at the sound. Each giggle was a reminder of all she wanted to protect. David took a small step forward, his voice softer, vulnerable. Let her decide, Jennifer. If I mess up again, you'll have every right to close that door. But can't you let her meet her dad first? As the world around them faded back into focus, she felt a tumult of emotions battling within her. Would opening that door lead to healing or heartbreak? And as she hovered on the brink of a decision that would change everything, a familiar face broke through the crowd, glancing knowingly at Jennifer. She felt her heart race with dread and curiosity. Hey, there you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. The voice called, belonging to someone she thought she had left behind. What happens now? Would this unexpected encounter bring clarity or more chaos? Jennifer turned, half expecting to see a familiar face from her past, but was instead met with a stranger's eager smile. The voice belonged to Lily, an old friend from high school who had come back to town and had been reaching out since their reunion. "Lily. What are you doing here?" Jennifer said, confused but a bit relieved. For a fleeting moment, the heaviness in the air faded. "I just dropped by the park to see the kids. Wow, this place hasn't changed a bit. Kind of nostalgic, you know." Lily's eyes sparkled as she scanned the scene, but then they landed on David, and her smile faltered. "Oh, what's going on?" Jennifer could feel David tense beside her, his eyes darting between the two women. She hesitated. Did she want to air their dirty laundry right now? The air felt dense again, mixing confusion and worry all at once. "Just a conversation," Jennifer replied, keeping her voice calm. Lily studied her friend and then her eyes narrowed slightly as they observed the tension between David and Jennifer. "You look like you've seen a ghost. Are you okay?" Jennifer took a breath, trying to process the escalating emotions swirling inside her. "It's complicated," she finally spoke. "David wants to be part of Emily's life." Lily's eyebrows shot up in surprise. "He's back? Oh wow, Jennifer, that's a big decision." "It is," Jennifer sighed, glancing at David whose expression was now hardening. She could feel the air thrum with unspoken words and judgment, both from David and herself. "Look," Lily said gently, "you know I've always been here for you. Just remember what happened last time. Do you really trust him?" Jennifer started but stopped as Emily ran over, her face alight with excitement. "Mommy! Mommy! Can I go over to the swings with my friends?" This sudden shift in focus was a breath of fresh air. Jennifer knelt down, enveloping Emily in her arms. "Of course, sweetheart. Just stay where I can see you, all right?" "Okay." Emily darted off, laughter trailing behind her. A small part of Jennifer felt relieved that her daughter could still find joy in the chaos of the moment. "Jennifer," David interrupted softly, "I just want a chance to prove myself." Lily crossed her arms, eyeing David. "And what do you think your chance means for Jennifer and Emily? It's not just about you anymore." Jennifer felt the tension escalating again and took a deep breath. "We are talking about this later," she said firmly, but her heart thudded with uncertainty. Another voice, not David's and not Lily's, echoed in the back of her mind. "Can I truly trust him?" David opened his mouth to respond, but at that moment, a group of children raced past, kicking a soccer ball right into them. The ball collided with David's leg, disrupting the heavy conversation. Lily giggled, and that laughter felt like a tiny ray of sunlight breaking through. As David bent to pick up the ball, his expression softened, and she saw a glimpse of the man he used to be, playful and carefree. It sent a fresh wave of confusion crashing over her. She felt a tug on her sleeve. The sensation brought her back to the moment. It was Emily, staring up at her with expectant eyes. "Can David come play with us?" she asked. Jennifer's heart stopped momentarily. Was meeting her father worth the complexity it entailed? Did she really want to watch that connection unfold in front of her? Jennifer glanced at David, who was looking at Emily with a mix of longing and guilt. In that moment, the choice felt monumental, as if the path forward would ripple into their lives in ways she couldn't foresee. Caught between the yearning for Emily to have a father while holding on to her protective instincts, Jennifer's mind raced with possibilities. And then, as if sensing the weight of the moment, Jason squeezed her hand tighter, giving her a look full of support. "The choice is yours, Jen," he said softly, his eyes filled with understanding. Jennifer closed her eyes briefly, considering everything, her daughter's laughter, her own pain, and David's fragile hope. What if this meeting was more than just a reunion? What if it unraveled everything she had carefully woven together for herself and Emily? With all these thoughts swirling, she finally opened her eyes and faced the waters of uncertainty anew. Just as she was about to speak, Lily stepped forward, her next words wrapping around the silence. "What if there is something you need to ask him first?" And as the shadows of doubt crept back in, Jennifer's pulse quickened. What would she dare to uncover in that moment? Just how much did she really want to know? The laughter of children echoed around them, bright and carefree, but Jennifer felt her heart sinking beneath its weight. Emily's hopeful eyes pierced through her doubts, and for a moment, she was torn between the child's joy and the turmoil within her. Was it really fair to allow David into their lives, especially after everything? Can David come play with us? Emily asked again. Her enthusiasm reverberated with innocence, a stark contrast to the heaviness weighing on Jennifer's shoulders. Jennifer glanced at David, who was now standing up, ball in hand, an anxious smile plastered on his face. He looked like he wanted to leap at the chance to be a good father once again, a chance that had been so fleeting just a few years ago. I don't know, sweetie, she hesitated, her voice trembling with mixed emotions. Lily tilted her head slightly, as if sensing Jennifer's struggle. You should ask him what's on your mind. It could be what you need to move forward. The way she spoke felt like a gentle nudge, urging Jennifer to push through her fears. David took a step closer, the space between them now crackling with a mix of hope and anxiety. Jennifer, I promise I won't mess this up. I just want to be there for both of you if you let me. His voice held a tremor, as if the weight of his words could bring down the walls they had built since they last saw each other. How can I trust you? It slipped out before she could think better of it, her heart racing. You walked away once, David. How do I know you won't do it again? His brows furrowed deeply. I understand why you'd feel that way. But I've changed. I've spent so much time thinking about what I lost. I want to make it right. Emily looked back and forth between them, excitement fading into confusion. Mommy, can he play? She asked again, her small voice filled with longing. In that moment, Jennifer felt a shudder run through her. Here was the chance for their daughter to have a father, a piece of their broken family, a chance for something new to blossom. But could she bear the risk? What if things didn't go as planned? What if this moment led them back to heartbreak? Emily, she knelt down to her daughter's level, searching her eyes for understanding. This is a big decision. Playing today might lead to more questions later. Are you sure you want that? The girl nodded eagerly, her innocence all but quenching Jennifer's fears. Taking a deep breath, she turned towards David. Then maybe we can start with just today, and see how it goes, okay? Uncertainty still hung in the air, but she felt a small weight lift off her chest. The delicate, almost fragile craving for something normal surged within her. Thank you, Jennifer, David said, his gaze softening. He took a step closer to Emily, who was bouncing on her toes with excitement, ready to run towards the swings. I promise I won't let either of you down. But as the words left his lips, Jennifer could feel a twinge of apprehension. The winds of change were blowing, swirling their fragile family into unpredictable territory. Would this be the beginning of a healing journey or the start of another painful chapter? Just as she prepared to take a step forward with a cautious heart, a dark cloud rolled overhead, and she couldn't shake the strange feeling that this could all go terribly wrong. Would trust be rebuilt, or were they opening a door that would come crashing down once more? As she watched David join Emily on the swings, his laughter mingling with her daughter's joy, Jennifer's heart raced again, battling hope and fear. What could this playdate lead to? And deep down, she wondered, had she just made a choice that might change everything, or would it all end in heartache once more? What if today was only the calm before the storm? The park hummed with laughter and shouts as David pushed Emily on the swing. Each powerful thrust sent her soaring higher, her giggles weaving through the air like dandelion seeds on the breeze. For a moment, Jennifer felt a flicker of hope flicker inside her. Maybe today could work. Maybe this surprise reunion was a chance to heal. But the doubt whispered in her ear, an old companion. Could she really trust David? Would he hold up his promise, or would this be another letdown? She watched as Emily's joy wrapped around David like a blanket. How could she deny her daughter this moment of happiness? Jennifer took a step closer, torn between the past and this tentative present. Then she felt Jason beside her, his energy radiating calm like the warm sun overhead. "They look good together," he commented, nodding towards Emily as she twirled the little pink balloon that Jason had given her, a tether to joy in a world that often felt chaotic. "Yeah, they do," she replied softly, allowing herself to imagine it, the three of them, a family, creating new memories rather than revisiting old pain. "Hey," Jason said gently, turning her way, "you know I'm here for you, whatever you choose. You're stronger than you think." His words anchored her, reminding her of the support she desperately needed. She took a breath, filling her lungs with the crisp air of possibility. What if today wasn't about fear but embracing small steps toward forgiveness? As if they could sense her shift, David turned and met her gaze. There was sincerity in his eyes that caught her off guard, something she hadn't expected to see. "I'll be there for her," he called out. "I promise this time will be different. I'm here to stay." Emily rejoined them, red-cheeked and breathless. "Mom! Can David come play tag with us?" she chimed, innocence spilling from her voice like sunshine. Hearing her daughter's plea wrenched something deep inside Jennifer. Was she really willing to let her heart dance so close to the flame? Could she face the possibility of heartbreak again? Taking a step toward David, she felt the vivid buoyancy of the moment wash over her. "All right," she said slowly, locking eyes with David, "let's see what this looks like. We'll take today for what it is." Hope flickered like a candle in the dark, stronger in the face of uncertainty. "Thank you, Jen. You won't regret it," David promised, and despite the shadows of the past, Jennifer decided to move forward. They were carving out new possibilities together. As the game of tag kicked off, laughter erupted like fireworks. David raced alongside the kids, throwing himself into the game, his laughter invigorating the atmosphere. A slice of joy surged within Jennifer as she watched children whisk around, their innocence wrapping the day in a cocoon of happiness. The sound of her daughter's laughter rang like music to her ears, filling the spaces where fear had once resided. But as the sun began to set, a quiet conversation began to blossom between Jennifer and Jason. "You're being so brave, Jen," he said, admiration shining in his eyes. "This is what it means to step into the light after so much darkness." "I just want what's best for Emily," she replied, her heart feeling fuller in his presence. "But it's scary opening up to someone whose choices left such a void." "Of course, it is," Jason affirmed, brushing her arm. "But sometimes vulnerability opens doors to transformations we never anticipated." The warmth of his touch sent reassurance through her, reminding her of the power of connection. Just as she contemplated the countless doors that could open, she glanced out at the scene unfolding before them. David was kneeling beside Emily, showing her how to throw the soccer ball. Pure joy radiated from the two of them, and in that split second, Jennifer realized how relief cascaded into her chest. Maybe today was more than just a celebration of hope, it was a glimpse into the new journey they could share. A journey that didn't require letting go of her desires for protection or stability but allowed room for rebuilding. As dusk enveloped the park, Jason's hand found hers again, steadfast and warm. She looked into his eyes, tracing the outline of someone who had become a source of comfort and strength. "Whatever comes next, I'm here for it, Jen," he said earnestly. Tears brimmed in her eyes as she truly embraced the moment. Jennifer felt fear start to dissolve as she allowed a connection to bloom before her, old and new, fragile yet resilient. And just like that, hope surged within her as she wandered along this new path, the one that was tinted with cautious optimism. As the stars began to peek through the twilight sky, their brilliant light shimmered like the potential before them. Today had transformed what felt broken and frail into an opportunity for that warmth once more. It was a step toward healing and new beginnings. In that moment, Jennifer knew, she could face whatever came next, together. And just as their laughter blended into the symphony of an ordinary evening, she couldn't help but believe in the magic of new beginnings. Now, as you've journeyed alongside Jennifer, Jason, and the rest of the community through this beautiful transformation, you need to subscribe now to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories of hope and inspiration. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread those good vibes. Comment below your thoughts and feelings about this uplifting ending. We want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who crave a dose of hope and transformation. Together, let us build a supportive community that thrives on love and resilience.